I am so excited to share this curriculum with you guys. I was so excited when I saw it and could not wait to get it prepped and ready to go. And so I want to share with you everything about it. But first I want to say, if you are new here, welcome. I'm Christina. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids, ages 2 through 14 years old. And so I have a wide range of children. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I would love if you would stick around. I talk about curriculum, but also homeschooling in general, motherhood, family life, faith, so many things here. And I would love for you to join the community here at Rooted Home Life, both here and over on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you can follow me there at rooted_home life. So, nature study curriculum. This month in July, the Nature Study Club topic is pond life. And I am so excited about this because we have a pond nearby at one of our favorite parks that we frequent regularly, and we see so many creatures there, and I just feel like it's going to be so exciting to learn more about the pond. So if you missed it last month, I shared all about Nature Study Club, and the month before, because May was the first month of Nature Study Club from For the Love of Homeschooling. May was nesting birds and June was animal homes, and you can still actually purchase those units separately on the website. So I will link For the Love of Homeschooling down below. If you want to join Nature Study Club, it's only $12 a month, and you can also buy previous units from previous months if you're just interested in that particular unit. Pond Life, I am so excited about. This unit is absolutely gorgeous. If you're unfamiliar, for $12 a month, you get the teacher's guide and you get 4 different student level notebooks, which I'm going to show you flip throughs of today. But I wanted to share everything that comes in it. So I printed and bound all of those because I have a child in each of the notebook levels. I shared last month that I chose to put my then 10, now 11-year-old in the same notebook level so that they could work together. And I put them in the 12 and up one because I knew that my 11-year-old could handle it. But every month I look through it and I make the decision based on what I see, not just like, oh, I want them to do the same thing, because I like how sometimes they can do the same thing and work together and have that like partner collaborative aspect to their learning. And then sometimes it's important for them to learn things on their own. And so I love that this is family style, much like Gather Round Homeschool, if you're familiar with them, in the sense that it's family style, but then they have their own leveled notebooks to dig in deeper to the concept we learn together as a family. The family portion is very short, so that is very different from Gather Round if you're familiar with Gather Round. These lessons are very short, and then they dig in deeper in their own notebooks. And so this time around, I looked through the Senior Explorer notebook, and I loved what I saw, and there were some concepts in there I really wanted my 11-year-old to be able to experience, so he will be doing a different level from my 14-year-old this time. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Another fun thing that I want to show you is the Pond Life Observation Journal that also comes with this month's nature study. And what I chose to do, just a fun way, maybe this is something you've done before, maybe not, I don't like them to have a ton of different things, a ton of different books and all of the things. So I limit it where I can. And so what I chose to do is I added the Pond Observation Journal on the back because I liked it feeling like its own thing, not just added in the back of their notebook, but not completely separate because it's not very big. It's kind of small. So it's like, what am I going to do with this to keep it nice, to not just staple it and have it be like getting ruined when we take it to the pond and take it in the car and all of those things. So I thought my best bet was to do it just like this. So if they flip on this side, they have their notebook that goes with the curriculum. And then this side, they have their pond observation journal. So I'm going to show you all of those things in just a minute. But I also want to share that if you don't know, there are tons of printables other than the teacher's guide and the student notebooks that come with Nature Study Club. If you've been around here for a while, then you probably know that I love exploring nature with children, and I still do 100%. There are similarities, but they're also very different in a lot of ways. And I will try to remember to link the videos down below where I talk about the distinct differences. And I think I talked about that in May's video when I was first introducing you guys to Nature Study Club. So if you're interested to know all about the differences, you want to check out that video down below. But one thing that I love about Nature Study Club is all of the printables that come with the unit. And so things like posters, there are tons of posters, and flashcards. There are 3-part cards in here. So I'll show you all of that once I get it down on the table and flip my camera around. But so much comes with this. You could print all of it. You could print some of it. That's totally up to you how you want to customize it. And it always comes with games. My boys, something that I've discovered is that they love learning games. And so this is something that I haven't done in the past as much as I would have liked to, or like I wish that I would have done it more. But the fact that they're tied in with the unit that we're already doing has helped me be much more intentional about making time for them. It was something like we never got to or we didn't have time for, but there's this original game, Pondology, that was created for this pond unit, and I can't wait to play it with my kids, but I will be sharing it in like a reel or something over on Instagram once we've played it. So let me show you everything that's in these notebooks so you can get a feel for the types of concepts and skills and content that you'll find in both the teacher's guide and the student notebooks. I am going to start with the teacher's manual and just show you how it's set up and what's in here. So you have all about the vision and kind of how Nature Study Club came about. You have frequently asked questions, a little bit more of those. You have the 20-day outline so you can see at a glance what you're doing for the month. There are always related recommended books. They are not required for the unit. Then you get a prep guide for each week so you know what you'll need to complete the activities for that week. It gives you some information about the ages for the student notebook. So as you can see, Little Explorer is 3 to 5, Junior is 6 to 8, Senior is 9 through 11, and Expert is 12 plus. So then you have the schedule for day 1. You'll see that there's a warm-up, a daily reading. This is how short the reading is. So this is what I mean. It's much shorter. Although it's similarly organized in style, this is a major difference between Gather Round and Nature Study Club. And then I love that it tells you right here the pages that each level notebook will be doing for that day. And then there's always a group activity. This goes along with the group activity for the day. So you would cut these out and place them in the pond and just be talking about the pond. I chose to just click print really quickly on this one, double-sided, but sometimes I do go through and see anything that needs to be cut. I will print separately, single-sided. I just figured I was gonna print this as is, and then I can extra print any things that need to be cut. Because something like this, I would actually print in cardstock. So I'll see this is coming up, and then I'll just click print 1 page on cardstock. So day 2, follows that same structure. And then this is the group activity, is playing this food chain dice game. Day 3 schedule, and then there is a STEM activity looking at amphibian skin permeability. So that looks really cool. This is the STEM log sheet for that activity. Then the day 4 schedule. Then here is a game that they can do that looks really fun. This is just sharing that Wonder House creates some of the notebooks, and it gives you a discount off of anything that she sells in her shop. So just a little information about her there. So here's an answer key for the frog jumps. So these are all looking at like human to frog ratios. So that's really interesting. Day 5. There's some pond analysis, so you'll actually be taking a sample from the pond. That I'm really excited about. And then here's a pond analysis ID guide for anything you find in your sample. Then the week 2 prep pack, again, tells you everything that you need. Here is the day 6 schedule and a STEM activity doing something with chia slime. So it's an amphibian mucus activity. So that's pretty interesting. Day 7 schedule has these cool QR codes that you can click on to watch videos of different creatures undergoing metamorphosis. Then you have the day 8 schedule. These movement cards, again, I'll print out on cardstock, but this is like your fun group activity where they are doing the different creatures to get some movement in. So I'm sure my kids will have fun with that. There's the day 9 schedule. There's another STEM activity. This one is doing something with understanding the difference of reptile eggs versus bird eggs. Day 10, this is the art concept or art technique that they'll be learning in this unit. I love that they always have art tied in as well as STEM. And so this looks really fun. Here's the template that goes along with that. And obviously you can print as many as you need. Here's the week 3 prep pack, day 11 schedule. This is the group activity, which I did actually print this page single-sided for whatever reason. I think maybe because I knew I wouldn't want it in cardstock. I went ahead and did that. Day 12, there's an egg stem log sheet here. Then day 13, there's a Venn diagram. Here you're looking at turtle and fish anatomy and classification, and another Venn diagram. And then this gives some answers for the crossword puzzles. Day 15 is poetry tea time. So I love that each of them has a poetry tea time built in. So if you do poetry tea time in your home, or if it's something you've wanted to try, I love that it's already built right into the unit, and it gives you recipes and poetry activities to go along with it, which is really great. This one is specifically talking about haiku, so there'll be different types of poems each month, which I really love, and then always kind of some instruction for them to try writing poetry as well, which is really cool. Week 4 prep pack. Week 4 always has to do with end of unit projects and research reports. So I love that they follow up with a way to wrap up their learning and demonstrate what they've learned. So there's a pond diorama. There is a pond layer watercolor, which I'm super excited about. We have loved the watercolor lessons that come in each of the Nature Study Club months. We loved the squirrel one last month and the bird nest one the month before. My kids loved that. So here's more about the pond life diorama, so giving some instruction and some places to sketch it out. There are work days built into the schedule, which is great. And then at the very end, the presentations and party. And then at the very back here, you'll see different related fun recipes to go along with poetry tea time or the party or both. So that is the teacher's guide. So you can always skip ahead if you are not interested in some of these levels. I'm gonna start with the oldest level and work my way down. This is Expert Explorer, so this is 12 plus. So I have my 14-year-old doing this. And again, on previous months, I did have my 11-year-old doing this as well. So week 1, they're learning about the different levels. They're building a pond food pyramid. There's a sun base. They're learning about pond organisms. They'll take a look at their personal food chain, kind of connecting with real life. A little bit more about the food pyramid. Then they have a science lab, which is really great. I absolutely love that for the older kids. And then even tying in the younger kids with them. They have an observation page. They have to write up a conclusion, which is really great. This is that frog jumps activity that you saw in the teacher's guide. Here is that pond analysis activity as well, right in the expert guide. Then they complete a pond analysis bar graph, so something more specific for their level. Week 2, this is talking about distance. Different marker signs to use with that activity. They're learning quick facts about the blue-spotted salamander. They're writing a diary entry from the first-person perspective. They're learning about turtles, moon names, the lunar calendar. They're learning how to take doodle notes, and then they're practicing it here, which is super cool because we're doing notebooking. So I feel like this will even help them in their notebooking they're doing outside of this unit. Here's that pointillism art project that they'll do. Snapper vision, so some QR codes for them to watch here. Week 3, they're learning about trout and what they eat. Then they are doing creative and descriptive writing, so I was really excited to see that. Then they are creating a menu for the trout eatery. They're learning about food chain nutrition, nutritional benefits of rainbow trout. They are writing a tale here, so I love that there is writing built in for this age group. They're learning about idioms. They review taxonomy, which is something that they've touched on in the other 2 units, so they have a key here. They're doing some classifications here. And this is really, really cool. They're actually doing the classifications as a crossword. So that's super fun. Some more classification pages. Then they have a word search. So this looks really, really fun. Then week 4, of course, is the final project, and they are doing pond species discovery. So they will be inventing a new species. So I'm interested to see how my oldest does with this. They'll do some mind mapping. Then they have some sketching and areas to draft all the different sections. And then their final template. And this will be for their presentation. So I just love that. And then I'll show you, like I mentioned, how I put their observation journal in the back. Now this observation journal is the same for my oldest 3 kids. So 3 of the levels, this will look exactly the same, which I like because it gives them something that they can work on together and support each other. So we'll go to the pond nearby and do some observations. And obviously you can change the days, or they have just the blank day pages. So that is the Expert Explorer. Next down from that is the Senior Explorer, and this is for ages 9 through 11. My 11-year-old will be doing this one this time. So still learning very similar things, but a little bit different in terms of how they go about engaging with the material. So learning about the pond food chain still, sorting these different organisms into the different levels of the food chain. Okay, sorting and classifying. Then again, they have the personal food chain. So I love how they're still doing some of the same things, even though this is a level down. So that makes me really excited, actually. So here's that amphibian antifreeze science lab again. So it looks like he'll be doing very similar things as his older brother here. Same thing with the frog jumps. So I'm really excited about that, except he's creating a number line. So some of it, like I said, is different, but connected. Same little marker signs. Okay, then he also has the blue spotted salamander quick facts, and then some first person creative writing. So similar skill, but this is a little bit different than what his brother's doing with it. It looks like it might be a little bit shorter, a little bit broken down into bite-sized pieces. But again, we have this turtle as timekeeper concept. We have the moon names and the lunar calendar, so that's something they'll do together. Doodle notes again. It looks a little bit different, so maybe a little bit less information, less facts, but still the same skill. Then we have this pointillism art project, which is the same. It looks like they also have those same QR codes for those videos that we can watch together. Week 3, they are also doing the trout eatery. So that's really cool. I love how it gives them a word bank for all these different food-related adjectives to get them thinking about how they can make their writing more rich, and then even gives them an example of what it might look like. Then this talks about fishing conservation, which I don't remember seeing in the expert level, but I'm super excited about that because we've talked a lot about conservation. Then more of animal classifications and identification. Then also learning about idioms and doing some more creative writing. Week 4, they have the pond theme obstacle course is their final project. So in the Expert Explorer, they're creating a new creature that they quote unquote discovered. And then here they're creating a pond themed obstacle course. I really thought my 11-year-old would have fun with this. I actually thought my 14-year-old would as well. So I was actually thinking that I could let them choose to work together on both of the projects or choose one. Like I'm pretty flexible with how they like to demonstrate their learning. So I'm not very like strict on you have to do this one, you have to do that one. They might get super into doing this together and I'm totally fine with that. And so this gives them places to map and diagram. It gives them some places to kind of make sure and test out that things are going to work the way that they think. And then the final templates to complete the project. And then this is how they'll go about setting it up and presenting it. And then I did the same thing with his observation journal on the other side. So it looks the exact same as the other one, so I won't show you that. Next up is Junior Explorer, and my almost 7-year-old will be completing this one. She is 6, and this is for ages 6 through 8. So you will see a big difference in this one compared to the older two, but still connected. I like that it starts with a KWL chart to get them thinking like, what do they already know? What do they wonder? What did they learn at the end that they can come back and see, like, what did I learn? And I love this because she actually did Ready to Read book 2 from Gather Round Homeschool was all about ponds. So I love that we're circling back to ponds and learning some stuff that either she doesn't remember, or we're learning deeper concepts, or we're learning things maybe that she didn't learn at all in that. So I'm really excited about that. So this talks about how ponds are an ecosystem and takes us into some inquiry questions. She also looks at food chain, but more on her level than the older boys obviously were on their level. So she'll categorize these different parts of the food chain. She has some facts, so these facts she'll use to fill out this inquiry page. Then she has the frog life cycle here. Week 2, she's learning about salamanders. So you can see it follows much more of a predictive pattern at this age. So reading these facts and then filling out their inquiry page. Here she's going to be drawing what a metamorphosis looks like. Again, she has some facts and some inquiry for yet another pond creature. She's also doing the turtle snack bar. And this is really cute. This is a pond animals book that she can either choose to keep in here or cut out and make a little half sheet booklet. And I like how she can color, but then she can also write in the names of the creatures. Week 3, she has some more facts and inquiry to complete. The rainbow trout snack bar. She has the fish life cycle, which she'll cut and paste here. The amphibian checklist, all about rainbow trout. She'll do an acrostic name poem for poetry tea time. And then week 4 for her project, she's just doing a very similar research report to what she did in the previous unit. So she'll be familiar with this template, which is really cool. And then again, she has the observation journal on the back. So something that you may have noticed are there's some pages missing. So I'm gonna show you those and why they're missing. So for hers, I did choose to not put some of the pages right in her book, and I printed them on cardstock, and you'll see why. Let me show you those. Okay, there are multiple life cycle wheels. So there is the fish one, the turtle one, the frog one, and the salamander one. And so I chose to print these on cardstock because these are going to get fastened with a metal fastener, and I just felt like they would hold up better if they were on cardstock. Not necessary. I've done similar life cycle wheels from For the Love of Homeschooling before on regular paper, but obviously they're just not quite as durable. So that's definitely, you can decide either way. And then I was gonna do them on cardstock and also bind them in here, but it just felt super thick. So I chose at the last minute to pull them out, and I'll just give these to her on that day that she needs them. Last up is the Little Explorer, and this is for ages 3 through 5. So I'm using this with my 3-year-old. He will be 4 in October. He really loves being a part of what the older kids are doing. So this works really great because it's at his level, but he feels like he's doing what they're doing. So this focuses on P for pond, and he can also color it in. Then the actual word pond and more to color. Then there's this little book, so similar, he could keep it right in here, or I leave it up to them what they want to do, if they want to leave it right in their book, or if they want to cut it out and make it half sheet and make a half sheet book, they can do that as well. So he's tracing the words. This is a little bit above his level, so he may or may not even try to trace those, and I don't pressure him to do that. Obviously 5 is very different from 3. So some of the activities you may feel like work for your 3 to 5-year-old, other ones not so much. He loves cut and paste. So this page he will absolutely love. And this is a book that I did definitely go through and choose which pages I was gonna print double-sided and which I was going to do single-sided because there is so much cut and paste. So you could just print the whole thing single-sided, but it's just a lot more paper. So that's why I don't do it. A lot easier to just click print and let the whole thing print, but that's just a personal preference thing. This is just counting, so he'll count how many frogs and how many tadpoles. Here is cut and paste patterns, big to small. Then he has the frog life cycle, and then he will cut out the phases of the life cycle and put them in order on there. Week 2, he's doing some amphibian words. Again, this is a little bit above him, so I might have him pick like 1 or 2 letters from each word, or just do like the first letter of each word. That seems more his level right now. Same thing for this page, coloring and then just tracing what he can. Then we have life cycle of a salamander, amphibian match. He loves these matching pages, so he'll really love that. More reptile words. Again, I'll probably just have him do the first letter in each word. Here we have counting and graphing. He really likes this, but he does require, obviously, needs help him with this. Some more matching. This one is animals to their young. We have the turtle life cycle cut and paste, turtle coloring and tracing. Week 3, they have this really cute color and cut puzzle. So I may or may not reprint this on cardstock for him, we'll see. Fish words, fish life cycle. So this I'll probably have him cut these out, and then do this on like a piece of construction paper or cardstock, or even just another sheet of paper is fine. He can color in the fish life cycle page, more matching. Then there's this frog and salamander anatomy, turtle and fish anatomy. And then this is really cute because this is on an in positional word, so he'll cut these out and then paste them where they go. Then a pond life acrostic, so obviously I will work on this with him for poetry tea time. And then they even have their own little research report for week 4. So he'll color a picture, and then this is and then whatever it is he decides that he wants to do his report on, we will write that word in there together. And however many of these pages he wants to do, I will follow his interest on this. I do not push this stuff, especially at this age. And his pond life observation journal is different than everyone else's. It is all tracing and drawing. So again, as much of this as he wants to write, I may even tell him like, let's find the word pond, starts with a P, and we'll just trace the word pond, or whatever he seems into, we will go with it. So this is when we go to the pond, he'll be super excited. I'll say to him like, can you find a reptile for this page on this day? Can you find a fish? And so that is how we will do that. And then this is where he can choose anything he wants to talk about. Maybe he'll choose birds or something that was not in the unit that he can still add to his observation journal. So that is the youngest one. Now let me show you some of these printables. So I'm really excited about this game. This is not the only game, but this is the only game that I printed out. I may or may not print the rest of the games, but there are more games. So this is the original. This is an original game created for this unit, and it is the Pondology Food Chain game. These are all of the cards that go with this, and my boys have been reading through the instructions and are so excited. They think has a similar vibe to some game called Exploding Kittens that they had when we went to an Airbnb. So they're really excited to check this out, and I love the idea of truly learning through games. Then here are some of the posters. Some of these I print double-sided if I don't need them at the same time. So some life cycle, some pond layers. And here are some of the 3-part cards just to give you an idea. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing all about Nature Study Club, specifically the Pond Life Study for July. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions about Nature Study Club in general, this particular unit, the leveled notebooks, printing, binding, any of those things, let me know down below. And feel free to always DM me over on Instagram as well. Again, you can follow me there at rooted_homelife. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, introduce yourself down below in the comments. I love to get to know you guys. I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. And until next time, stay rooted. you.